Hello, everyone. This is another Black Conservative. I'm Ryan Bolin. Thank you all for joining me. What I want to talk about in this video is an organization by the name of Axios or Axio, A-X-I-O-S. I hope that's the way to pronounce it. But anyway, according to this opinion piece that I'm about to read in Breitbart News, this is a far left organization that essentially is blaming everything else on the low audience retention of a lot of the movies on these streaming services such as Netflix and Hulu and others. They're blaming everything else on these low numbers except what it really is. And the writer of the article says the real problem, and I agree with his opinion, is that the content that they're showing sucks. And I agree. A vast majority of the content that Hulu, Netflix, and these other streaming services suck. But we're going to get into the detail of that. I'm going to give you my detailed analysis and commentary on that after I've read this opinion piece. Like I said, this is an opinion piece, but there's a lot of good information that this writer of this article brings out. So let's get right into this article. And I'm going to give you my commentary. But the article starts off, far left Axios blames the ongoing trauma in the entertainment industry on everything but the one thing causing that trauma: awful, awful content. Households cutting their cable/satellite TV cord jumped to 10% in 2022. Even if you figure in those who canceled their cable/satellite package and jumped to what's known as, quote, a skinny bundle, or a cheaper form of cable TV, the drop is still a full 6%. 5 years ago, 79% of roughly 100 million U.S. households paid for cable TV. 15 years ago, it was 85%. Now it's closer to 66%. So you see a progressive falling here. This is costing Hollywood billions. Whether or not you watch CNN or MTV or MSNBC or the Disney Channel or ESPN, these multinationals still receive a portion of your monthly cable bill. So let's assume, although it's probably more, that Hollywood makes $5 a month from those 5 channels. Now listen to this. I like how he breaks this down. That's $60 a year per household. Multiply that times 85 million households in 2007. That's more than $5 billion with a B per year. But now that number has dropped to 66 million households, which means a loss of about $1 billion per year. Only it's a lot more money than that. Look at all the channels on your cable system. So he goes on to say, and so he gives a diagram of this, and it's pretty pitiful. If you look over the description box below and type in the title of the article, you'll see for yourself. It's pretty bad. So the article goes on, let me tell you, streaming is not replacing that revenue. Most streaming services are losing money and not growing at desired rates. Wall Street knows this, which is why media stock prices are collapsing. But let's get real. The problem is not just changing times or the Biden recession or the drop in ad revenue. The problem is the content, and I agree. Okay. Movies and TV suck today. Yep. Have you looked through your Netflix menu lately? It's a $5 billion pile of garbage. There's nothing to watch. Same with Peacock, and he's right about Peacock. I go to Peacock, I just not too long ago got but I go to Peacock, man, and it's like, it's nothing on there. And anything I do watch on Peacock is usually something old, like Good Times or something like that. The new content, I don't even have a desire to want to watch it. It even looks sucky. Okay, let's go on. Sure, there's some good stuff on both services, but you can blow through the, quote, good stuff in a few hours or weeks. Then you are left with garbage, a $5 billion pile of garbage. And let me say something too here. Let me interject real here before I continue on with. One particular streaming service that I really, really like that tends to consistently put out top quality new content is Shudder. It's a horror film streaming service, But ever since I've had Shudder way back, well, not way back, but like I think I got Shudder in like, I think, I don't know, maybe 2015, 2016, something like that. It was in the early, was in that area. They have consistently put out good content. And I'm talking about the new content, not just the old. They mix it up. Old content, new content. Shudder is awesome. And their new content, I would say 90% of the time, their new content is top notch. They're not trying to push political messages all the time or beat you upon the head with this far left radical nonsense. I'm going to get into that in detail later. They're one of the streaming services that consistently put out good content. But I just wanted to put that out there. If you like horror movies, okay, which, you know, it varies, Shudder is the place to go. Okay, they consistently put out good content. But anyway, goes on. There is not a lack of content, good heavens. There's a ton of content, endless content. The problem is that it all sucks. But no one in the establishment media has the moral courage to say this. Not Axios, not the entertainment trades. Old-fashioned crowd pleasers such as Top Gun, Maverick, and Spider-Man No Way Home prove again that people are eager for great content. He's absolutely right. But these hacks still blame COVID or market forces or this or that. They blame everything, but the truth is that content is king. If people enjoy the content, they will purchase the content. Absolutely right. And the question is, see, this can vary, but I'm going to go on. I'm going to read a little bit more here. But speaking the truth means admitting woke and diversity and inclusion and grooming and equity and homosexuality, everything but great stories and great characters that stands for universal truths don't sell. Can't have that. Nope. Axios would prefer to make a fool of itself by pretending the emperor is fully clothed. One answer appears to be combining streaming services. So he talks about how Paramount and Warner Brothers and others are combining their services. But I mean, you can combine services all way. To me, combining services is just a way for these streaming services to survive and keep them going under. They're not paying attention that your content sucks. Okay. I want to read this. I'm going to read this part. That's not the worst idea in the world, but the success of these combos will depend on pricing. If you combine the AMC, Showtime, Stars, and Paramount streaming services, you can't charge $20 a month. It's still not worth it. It could be worth it if 99% of the content didn't suck, but suck it will. Okay, so basically that's the end of the article there. I'm going to stop right there, but yeah. I agree with his opinion on that. I agree with his opinion totally. When you look at streaming services like Netflix, I have Netflix, I have Hulu, I have Peacock, I have Shudder. Shudder is awesome. What other ones I have? I think those are the three main ones. Netflix, Peacock, Hulu, and I think I have a few others. Tubi, you can consider that, but they have commercials. But I mean, they show some good stuff. Even with their new content, their original content. I'm not too much into Tubi's original content. It looks kind of cheap and generic. I'm not really too much into their original content. But yeah, man. I mean, I totally agree with this writer's opinion. When you look at the streaming services, the content of Netflix and Hulu, it's been a while since I've watched any of their new content. And the last show that I watched when it came to new content was Hulu's remaking or rehashing of Clive Barker's classic 80s film Hellraiser. Now, I liked their rendition of it. And I liked the female Cenobite. I liked her. I liked the way she played. I mean, she really did a really good job. I thought that was cool. And I thought there was an original spin. But I can't help but feel that they were trying to be woke. Let's be diversified. Let's make Pinhead a female. I knew in my heart that's what they were trying to do. She did a great job, But in my heart, I knew that's what they're trying to do. Okay. And there was some other stuff in the film earlier on that they just kept pushing in your face. First few scenes, pushing it in your face, pushing it in your face. I'm like, come on, man. I don't want to see this. And I'm not going to say it here on YouTube because I don't want to offend anybody. But I'm pretty sure you're probably going to read into what I'm saying. I don't want to see that the first couple of reels. And it just stayed there. The camera stayed there. And these people just talked and talked and talked and talked. And it went on and on and on about this and about this and how much they loved each other and this. And I'm like, come on, man. Can we just get to the story? Okay, I get it. But they just stayed there. My hand keeps hitting this table. They just stayed there. They just stayed there. I'm like, come on. Come on. And it was tempting me to fast forward that part where I could get to the part that I want to see. My point is this. When you push political messages in films, people detect that and they start backing away. Okay? This is what Hollywood needs to start getting back to doing, like they did back in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, and to some extent, a portion of the first half of the 2000s. Okay? They need to get back into just making good content. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with putting a political or even a religious message in your films. But when you bombard people over the head with this kind of stuff, especially when it's stuff that a vast majority of Americans don't agree with, quiet as it may be kept, because they may not say it out of their mouth, but they'll say it out of their actions. They don't want to watch movies where the main characters in cartoons are transgenders. It's okay. I mean, it's okay for adults, but when it comes to these children, parents don't want their children to see that. Or people who want to go see an entertaining movie, whether it's a horror movie or a comedy or action film, don't want to be bombarded over the head with radical far-left Marxist ideology. When you put this type of stuff in these films, people start to back away. See, the thing about pop culture, I was reading about this some time ago, and I think it was Mark Dyson said this, and he's right. Politicians understand, especially the Democrats, the liberals, understand that pop culture is the controlling factor of people's minds. It's not politics. People generally, the regulars, the normies, like Anthony Brown Logan calls them, they generally hate politics. They don't have much to do with politics. They're going about their everyday life. They don't even care. They're into pop culture. They're immersed into their cell phones and virtual reality glasses and HD TVs and video games and going to strip clubs and you know, they're into enjoying themselves when they get off of work. They don't care anything about what's going on politically. They're immersed into pop culture. That's why it's called pop culture, because it's popular culture. It's what's popular. It's the in thing. Politicians, especially the Democrats, especially the liberals, understand that, and that's why they control pop culture. Hence, movies. Because they figure if we can put these worldviews, these radical leftist worldviews into movies, okay, people will start thinking that way. And they are thinking that way, but guess what? You're drowning people in that sewage. So now the people are like, man, I'm getting sick and tired of you. I don't want to see this, bro. So they're starting to back away. It isn't the economy. As this article was saying, I agree with this. I agree with his assessment. It isn't the economy. It isn't Biden inflation or whatever. No. The content on these streaming services suck. I hardly watch anything on Netflix. I hardly watch anything on Hulu. Most of the stuff I watch on there now, after having watched their news services and found out how much they suck and how woke they are, it's mostly old stuff. Now, there's a particular show on Netflix that I love, and I can repeatedly watch it, okay? One is The Walking Dead. Walking Dead ain't woke, okay? Not like these shows are. But another one is called Black Mirrors. It's a sci-fi miniseries, excellent miniseries, and it talks about the negative aspects of technology. You know, it talks about the negative aspects of technology and how that can actually hurt us if we don't use it the right way. It's an excellent show. I love it. It came out, I think, in 2015. Excellent show called Black Mirror. I highly recommend it. It's still on. They haven't took it off. Thank God. But some of their new content, I can't stand. I can't stand it. And so I've been wanting to get rid of Netflix, but it's like I don't. It's like, man, if I get rid of it, I'm gonna miss something really good, you know, because there's a lot of good shows on there that I do. Well, I won't say a lot, but a significant number of their shows that are older shows I like watching. So I'll go to the older shows, okay, and older movies. That's what I watch. I don't watch their new services. And this is why these streaming services are losing. They're losing because their content, like the writer of the article says, sucks. Just make good movies. If you're going to put your worldview or ideology in it, sprinkle it lightly. Tread lightly. Tread lightly. Because no one wants to be bombarded with your nonsense. No one wants this crap pushed down their throat. You're choking the audience, Hollywood. You're choking the audience. Combining your services together ain't going to fix the problem. You need to fix your movies. Keep politics out of it. Because people see it. People see it. And they're getting tired of it. And like I said in the ending of this video, the liberals know that this kind of, the liberals know, and the Democratic politicians know that pop culture rules. And if they can control pop culture, they can control the mindsets of the people. And they were right. The problem is that we got these radical communists that's taking over everything. And they trying to drown everybody in this radical woke nonsense. Because, as I said in the previous video, Trump slowed them down. Now they got to kill you with it now. But guess what? They're dying because they're losing money. And to be quite honest with you, I hope they lose more money. I hope they lose more money. Until they wake up, I hope they lose more money. Good for you. Stop pushing that nonsense. That demonic, nasty, peanut drool that you are pushing on people. People are sick of it. Stop it. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion on it. But what do you guys think about this? Do you have streaming services? Do you like a lot of the services, the movies, the shows that they're putting on there? Do they suck to you? Leave your comments in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, share, and subscribe to my channel. God bless you all, and see you again.